Hello everyone and welcome to my Y&R Insider 24 update channel. Spoilers: Phyllis and Kane pulled to each other, sparks fly. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for the week of October 13, 2025. Hayley Erin's Claire Grace Newman, Hayley Erin, and Nathan Owen's Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, are expected to meet. Meanwhile, Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, tells Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, that their son has been in a terrible car accident. Continue reading to learn more about the upcoming episodes of the CBS soap opera. Holden Novak's past. Let us begin in Los Angeles. Claire has been taken to the big city by Holden, who will show her around. The man takes Claire to a club, where she is introduced to the owner, Sienna Tamara Braun. However, Sienna has a lot to say about Holden's past women. Sienna brings up Audra Charles, Zuleika Silva, despite Holden's insistence that Claire is just a friend. Holden's chances of winning Claire over could be jeopardized by this awkward situation. Regarding Claire, she will encounter a challenge as the week begins. It would appear that Michael Mealer's Kyle Abbott persuades Amelia Heinley's Victoria Newman to give him the hotel address for Claire. Victoria is comforted by Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, during the week. As a result, it appears that these two may reunite. Crash of Noah Newman's car. Sharon went to LA to visit Noah Newman, Lucas Adams. Sharon initially confided in Nick that she was having trouble locating their son. Then, shortly thereafter, Noah's terrible accident was reported by Sharon, who called Nick while weeping. Later in the week, Nick and Sharon meet a mysterious stranger. I have to wonder if this is the same man who was watching Sharon as she called the hospital in tears. How is he connected to Noah's crash? What kind of trouble is the young man in? Going to see Mariah Copeland. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of October 13 reveal that Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, will visit Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes. The brunette will want to know everything there is to know. Tessa might not react the same way to Mariah, though. Mariah might feel betrayed, but her guilt might just get worse. In any case, fans are ready for answers. Week beginning October 13, 2025. Additionally, Audra will receive a painful reminder of her past for the benefit of the audience. Billy Abbott, played by Jason Thompson, and Jack Abbott, played by Peter Bergman, clear the air. So, from here, where do they go with Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn? During the week of October 13, 2025, which storyline are you most excited to see? Write down your thoughts in the box below. To find out what happens next, remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount+. When Kane and Phyllis are pulled together, sparks fly. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of October 13, 2025, indicate that both Genoa City and Los Angeles will be affected by passion, heartbreak, and secret plans. A week of intense confrontations, shocking confessions, and electric chemistry is in store for fans, particularly for Phyllis Summers and Kane Ashby, whose enticing attraction becomes impossible to resist. This simmering connection between two complex souls may just be the unexpected emotional explosion, whereas other storylines explore tragedy, redemption, and second chances. Holden Novak's past. Claire faces a reality check in Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, takes Claire Grace Newman, Hayley Erin, on what he promises will be an unforgettable trip, a chance to experience the energy and freedom of the city that never truly sleeps. This vacation is more than just a change of scenery for Claire, it is also a test of her independence and an escape from Victoria Newman, played by Amelia Heinley. Holden wants to show Claire that life can be bold, spontaneous, and messy, something she's rarely allowed herself to embrace. But their adventure takes an awkward turn when Holden brings Claire to a stylish downtown club owned by Sienna Tamara Braun, a woman with a storied past of her own and one who clearly shares unresolved history with Holden. When Sienna greets Holden, her eyes sparkle with recognition, but her smile is edged with resentment. She hurls names like Audra Charles, Zuleika Silva, into the conversation like daggers, hints about the women who thought they could change him, and she does this without wasting any time. While Claire makes an effort to maintain composure by acting as though the jabs do not bother her, the tension is evident. Even as Holden insists that Claire is just a friend, the chemistry between them tells a different story, one that Sienna picks up on immediately. With a smile, Sienna warns Claire, Careful, sweetheart. Holden has a way of making you feel like the only woman in the room, until you realize you aren't. Claire is deeply shaken by the encounter. She had hoped this trip would be about fresh beginnings, but instead, she's confronted with the shadows of Holden's past. Holden's vulnerability, as well as the glint of guilt in his eyes when Sienna storms off, keeps her intrigued despite the discomfort. Is it possible that Claire is falling for a person who exhibits a perilous pattern of emotional chaos? Back in Genoa City, Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, learns of Claire's little escape and convinces Victoria to give him Claire's hotel address. He doesn't know if he wants to defend Claire or show Victoria something. But one thing's for sure: when Kyle arrives, his presence could shatter the fragile peace Claire is trying to build. Victoria and Nate, a rekindled feeling of homecoming as Victoria worries over her daughter's sudden rebellion. Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, steps in to comfort her. These two have danced this dance before, a mix of passion and professionalism, tension and temptation. As Victoria discusses her insecurities as a mother and a woman, the young and the restless spoilers hint that their renewed closeness may rekindle old feelings. Nate has always admired Victoria's strength, but he also sees her vulnerability beneath the iron exterior. Their scenes this week will likely remind fans why their chemistry once drew so much attention, two powerful people finding solace in each other's ambition. Nate's reassuring tone and gentle gestures may just bring Victoria back into perilous emotional territory as she confesses that she fears losing control of both her business and her family. Noah Newman's car crash, Sharon and Nick's worst nightmare. Meanwhile, a storm of heartbreak brews in Los Angeles. Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, travels there to visit her son, Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, hoping to reconnect after weeks of silence. But what begins as a mother's concern turns into every parent's nightmare. Sharon initially makes a trembling phone call to Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, stating that she has not been able to reach Noah and that something does not feel right. She calls once more hours later, this time uncontrollably weeping. She cries, "Nick, Noah has been in a terrible accident." Fans can already imagine the intensity of what's to come as the screen turns black. Sharon, standing in a sterile hospital hallway, clutching her phone as tears stream down her face, begs the doctors for news. Nick, miles away in Genoa City, is frozen in disbelief before jumping into action. The tension is unbearable when Nick finally arrives in Los Angeles with Sharon. As they wait for updates, the two exes find themselves drawn together by shared fear and love for their son. Moments like these bring back memories of Cass's death, Faith's previous illnesses, and the numerous times that tragedy has tested them. Sharon and Nick are forced to face the haunting reality that no matter how much time passes, their bond will always be rooted in love and loss. But the mystery deepens when Sharon and Nick meet a mysterious stranger who claims to have witnessed the crash. This man's vague statements and the strange way he keeps appearing near the hospital suggest he may know more than he's letting on. Could Noah's accident be more than a tragic twist of fate? Is there a connection between this stranger and the dark business dealings Noah stumbled into before his disappearance? Mariah and Tessa, the reunion that changes everything. While chaos unfolds in LA, Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, makes a bold move back in Genoa City. After weeks of emotional distance, she visits Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, determined to get answers about the growing silence between them. The visit of Tessa is full of hope, terror, and heartbreak. She wants to believe that Mariah's recent withdrawal was caused by stress, but she knows that there is something more fundamental at play. "I just need to hear the truth," Tessa pleads softly, her voice trembling. "Whatever it is, I can handle it." But Mariah's response is not what she expects. Instead of anger or defensiveness, Mariah breaks down in tears, confessing that she feels consumed by guilt and loss. "Every time I look at you, I see what I've ruined," she whispers. This revelation leaves Tessa reeling. While she came seeking clarity, she instead finds a woman drowning in regret. Their conversation becomes a mirror of their complicated love story, a blend of vulnerability, forgiveness, and confusion. As Tessa wraps her arms around Mariah, the tension slowly melts into something softer, though far from resolved. Whether this emotional reunion will lead to reconciliation or farewell remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: the love between these two women still burns fiercely beneath all the pain. Painful reminder from Audra, haunted by her past elsewhere. Audra Charles, Zuleika Silva, faces her own reckoning. Audra is forced to confront a painful memory that shakes her confidence because she is haunted by choices she has made in the past and alliances she has broken. When she overhears Sienna's comments about her connection to Holden, the emotional blow hits harder than expected. Audra has worked tirelessly to rebrand herself as a force of business and sophistication, but deep down, the scars of her romantic past still linger. As she navigates new professional tensions, perhaps with Nate or Devon, she realizes that no matter how high she climbs, her past mistakes always find a way to drag her back down. Fans may get a chance to see Audra's emotional complexity beyond her usual manipulative persona thanks to this storyline, which may reset her. Whether she chooses redemption or revenge next will determine how she fits into the broader Newman and Abbott dramas that unfold in the coming weeks. Jack and Billy Abbott clear the air, Kane caught in the middle. After months of growing tension, Jack Abbott, played by Peter Bergman, and Billy Abbott, played by Jason Thompson, finally get together in Genoa City to talk things over. This week's conversation marks a pivotal shift in the strained relationship between the brothers, which has always oscillated between loyalty and rivalry. Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, one name that keeps coming up as they work through old animosities. Kane, who was once regarded as an outsider within the Abbott circle, has been gradually integrating himself into their business dealings, generating suspicion and intrigue. Jack recognizes the potential in Kane's ambition, but he cautions Billy to exercise caution because he is aware of an ulterior motive. Billy, however, believes that Kane's redemption arc deserves a chance, that perhaps, beneath his past mistakes, there lies a man capable of change. The irony, of course, is that while Billy defends Kane's integrity, Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, is discovering just how complicated her connection with him has become. Phyllis and Kane, the slow burn that ignites. The story of Phyllis and Kane has been developing over the course of several months, simmering beneath layers of amusing banter, shared ambition, and undeniable attraction. Both have been burned by love, manipulated by power, and ostracized for their mistakes. In many ways, they're mirror images, two fiercely intelligent, wounded souls who use charm and sarcasm to hide their pain. When the week begins, Phyllis and Kane find themselves thrown together on a business project, an initiative that forces them into late nights, sharp debates, and moments of unspoken intimacy. The sparks fly immediately, though neither is willing to admit it. Phyllis insists, her eyes lingering a little too long on Kane's. "We're just two professionals who happen to work well together." However, the chemistry cannot be contained. Their arguments are laced with flirtation, and their laughter carries an undercurrent of longing. Kane, trying to keep things professional, finds himself mesmerized by Phyllis's fiery confidence. She, on the other hand, is drawn to his sincerity, which she hasn't trusted in years. By midweek, the tension reaches a boiling point. Phyllis storms out of the office after a heated argument about the strategy, only for Kane to follow her into the night. Both parties reveal how lonely they have been during an emotional confession that begins as an argument. When Kane gently touches Phyllis's arm, the air between them crackles. When it finally happens, their kiss is unplanned, raw, impulsive, and electric. Both immediately pull back, overwhelmed by guilt and desire. However, the harm is done. The spark has turned into a flame, and neither can pretend it didn't happen. As they try to navigate what comes next, Phyllis's defenses begin to crumble. For the first time in years, she allows someone to see her vulnerability. Kane, too, feels something shift within him, a realization that this connection could either save him or destroy him completely. When Kane offers Phyllis arabesque for $1, her life is suddenly in danger. According to The Young and the Restless, Y&R, spoilers, Billy Flynn's comeback as Kane Ashby has not gone well both on and off screen. Social media vocal fans are having a hard time accepting the return due to Kane's character change. Kane is going through the hardest battle of his life on screen, both professionally and personally. Making matters worse, he's attached at the hip to Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, who is just as unscrupulous and unlikable as he is. Kane, how can he save himself? So, how does Kane get back on his feet? Kane told his mother Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, last week that he should just reach for the stars and forget about the kids and their mother, Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil. Jill guilt him out of that notion, so the only way to salvage his reputation is by removing himself from Arabesque. And since Phyllis has been his loyal partner, it makes sense he would gift her the company instead of selling to his enemies. Is Phyllis going to get everything? Kane might think that if he gives away his soiled fortune, his kids could come running back for Christmas. Kane is a man who is conflicted. He is no longer the same person that he used to be, and the only way to change that is to get rid of the billions of dollars that he is said to have obtained dishonestly. After Newman Media published an article that exposed his relationship with the De Leon family, he must find a way to clear his name. He could do a lot worse than dissolve his business and donate the money to charity. GC, can Phyllis perform? He would be kind to do that, but the best plan would be to sell Arabesque to Phyllis for $1. That would displease his adversaries and provide Phyllis with the power and prestige she has always desired. She won't count on inheriting the person attempting to kill Kane, though. It makes sense that the person out to get him is avenging Kane's swindle against the De Leons. If Phyllis takes over Arabesque, who's to say that Kane's enemy won't come to Genoa City and target Phyllis? Should Phyllis receive a reward for her devotion? Catch up on everything that's going on with the young and the restless right now by watching it all again. Come back here often for the hottest Y&R updates, news, and spoilers. Get comfortable and gain access to the best soap intel on the web.